Hi, everybody. First, let me thank you for joining. Thank you for helping us and trying to get the message out to those who need to hear it. Um, on behalf of the Bronx Parents Leaders Advocacy Group, I thank you for taking a moment to engage with us. Our hope is that when we assemble together in these types of situations and on this platform, is that we are facilitating the socio-economic cohesion, which will drive the compulsion for increased productivity and safety for our children in this upcoming school year. As a parent and a community leader, I'm kind of taken back by the position that the people in charge of making these decisions have taken. I thought that as we transition from one regime to the next, that there would be some sort of increase in compassion and the logic behind sending our kids to school, uh, at least, or having the option to send our kids to school part time. And, for parents like myself who chose last year to remain remotely 100%, that there would be uh, additional consideration for us. But as it seems, that is not the case. I just don't understand how, in a school system that historically has been overcrowded, has been underfunded, has been neglected for many years, they can even fathom sending kids in this situation unprotected. I know that they are thinking about mandating masks, but in my opinion, children under a certain age will take those masks off. They will fidget. They're not even eligible to be vaccinated at this point. And so, in essence, we're sending them into war unprotected. And likewise for the teachers who have to be in the same situation. The Delta variant is a lot stronger. The Delta variant is a lot more contagious. And there are some cases where people who are vaccinated are still being inflicted with long-term COVID situations. I feel like we're not being heard. Our voice as parents, as family leaders, as community survivors, we're not being heard in this situation. And it's sort of an insult that people would come, when they're trying to be elected and say, hey, we're here, we're listening, tell us what you want us to hear. And privately, they're saying, yes, we agree with you. But publicly, they are not. They are not standing with us publicly. They have not even acknowledged the fact that they agreed with us privately. And to me, that's kind of insulting. Um, and I know that I'm one of many voters who will surely not forget, 100%. I think that as a community, we need to get together and put our foot down. The partnership between the education system and the parents of the children that are being educated has crumbled. It is disintegrated into nothing. I thought at one point that, we should help each other to raise up a child. But in essence, we're not being heard. And quite frankly, it's very insulting at this point. I feel like, we are consulted when they want to raise the price of the MTA service. They have all these different, platforms where we can make our voices heard. If there was a rent increase, they have all these other platforms where they go borough by borough and they let us voice our opinions and our pleas. But in an instance where there's a life and death situation, we're not even being allowed to say what's on our mind. And to me, I feel as though that's not right. And I myself struggle every day with, do I send my child to school in September and risk her life? Or do I keep her home against the rule and risk her educational progression? That's not something that any parent should have to deal with. And I feel like the people that are making these decisions need to hear that. They need to understand that. You are literally asking me to put my child who cannot be vaccinated because the law says she cannot be vaccinated because she's not old enough, put her life in danger. And what about those people who have these ailments that are not on this list? Asthma has been rampant in the Bronx. It's affecting, I think, in like 1 in 4 households. I'm not exactly sure what that was, but I read a couple of days ago when when the DOE first put out the list of ailments that they would consider strong enough to have you be able to have this remote option. But the problem is that COVID is not attacking just people with ailments. COVID is attacking everybody. This is not a selective disease, right? So to say that we're only going to acknowledge this select few options is kind of like a passive aggressive slap in the face, because there are certain people who are very healthy who have died. There are a number of children who are very sick right now in the hospital because of COVID, because they cannot get vaccinated, because they were not protected, because this government decided to put them into a situation where they could not help themselves. And to me, that is disgusting. And I'm sure, and I pray that the lives of these kids that are struggling right now in these hospital beds, that they will be spared. Because as adults, we need to take charge of this situation. The adults that are in charge are not handling this properly. There is no actual plan. I've read through the whole thing twice today. And I keep reading and I keep reading. And it's not fair for you to say that, when COVID first hit, we had to be 6 feet away. But now we have an even stronger variant out there called Delta. Now we're even smaller. We have to be 3 feet away if possible. The fact that you would put "if possible" into your guidelines tells me that you don't care about the life of my kid. And that is very disturbing to me. And I'm asking right now that you would go and sign this petition and let them know, hey, I too feel like I am not being heard. I too feel like you are taking the life of my child and the life of my family, and you're putting us in danger. Take a moment right now, please, and look at the guidelines, what they put out. Look at what they're saying is safe. What they're saying is safe is not safe. There is no plan. There is no, hey, this school is 180 years old. And we cannot upgrade it to the type of level where it is safe, but we want to put your kid in there anyway and hope for the best. That's not good enough for me. That's not good enough for my family. And I feel like the people that are making these decisions haven't been to this school in the Bronx. So I tell you what, Governor, if you think this school that my child's going to in the Bronx is safe, why don't you come in to the classroom with us so we can show you how it's not, before you get on camera and say, hey, I feel like all kids need to go back to school. That is not the case. There is not a one-stop shop, a one-stop fix-it for every single environment. Each environment is different. There needs to be different rules. There needs to be an option that says, hey, you know what? Your class had 37 kids in there when the average class is not supposed to have more than 25. So maybe we might want to give you the option to have your kid continue to learn from home. Those are the things that need to happen. These are the conversations that need to be had, and they're not being had at this very moment, at least not with me. And I can guarantee you half the parents in my school have not had a conversation like that either. So I'm asking that you take a moment, have a conversation with us, hear what the actual issues are within our school, because it's not, like I said, a one stop fix it kind of situation. You can't have one solution for a community that is as diverse as the Bronx or Brooklyn or Manhattan or Staten Island. There's too many different situations going on in these schools for you to say that everybody has to go back because that's how it's supposed to be. That's not how this works. You're putting the lives of our kids in danger. You're putting the lives of our families in danger. There are whole entire school communities that are quarantining right now because Delta has spread through the school, spread through the district, spread through the entire community. I read one article that said that the school chancellor had to be quarantined because they were affected in a small town in Texas. Guess what? I am living in a small environment in the Bronx. More compact, more people, more COVID opportunities to be spread. This is not okay for me. I thank you for letting me have this chance to speak my mind, and I hope and pray that sometime between now and the time school starts, that we have an actual plan, that we have an actual option to keep our kids safe at home. For those of us who can't even get our kid vaccinated, the 5-year-olds, the 6-year-olds, they're excited. They want to go back to school, but guess what? They're going in unprotected. And a mask, I'm sorry, is not enough of a protection for me to send my kid into that dangerous environment every day. Until we can go down and get our kid vaccinated, until we can go down and get our kid, a 6 foot at least space away from another child, away from the teacher, some plexiglass, something. Those things are not happening here in the Bronx. I can guarantee you they're not happening here in the Bronx. We couldn't even get school books that were of this decade a couple of years ago. We had to fight for that. And now we have to fight for this. Parents, I need you to get together. I need you to sign this petition. We need to make our voices heard. And this needs to happen now. Thank you for this opportunity and have a good